Hi, I'm Matt with Etactics. I'm the marketing manager here, and I also help create our training content, specifically with HIPAA, cybersecurity, HR things like that. Today, we're going to look at some of the most searched questions in relation to the keyword, is HIPAA? So, is HIPAA what? How? When? Why? Let's take a look. Our first question, our first keyword is going to be, is HIPAA a federal law? So HIPAA is a federal law. In fact, it was created and published during the Bill Clinton administration, and it has been around since the 90s, right? So it is a federal law, and there are requirements on a federal level for organizations to follow in the healthcare space, and for organizations that work with healthcare organizations, depending on the type of data that they work with. So there's PII, which is personally identifiable information, big umbrella, and then within that as a subsect is PHI, or protected health information. So HIPAA helps define what PHI is, and it is a little bit more specific and more sensitive in nature than just your name and like your email address or your phone number. It's also related to things like your social security number, and then of course medical health information. So like your medical treatments, what you see with the doctor, things like that. Our next keyword is HIPAA a state law? HIPAA is a federal law, which I just established. You know, the chances of there being a state law with it is very low. However, there are states that do have different laws in place that build on to HIPAA. And the best example of that is the Texas House Bill 300. So Texas House Bill 300 talks about HIPAA specifically, and it actually builds upon and exists to build upon HIPAA as a general law. HIPAA on a general basis, on a federal basis, is very general, and that's usually what you're going to see a lot with federal laws, and especially ones that are related to the healthcare industry. They're open to a lot of interpretation. And I'm not a lawyer, but I'll guarantee you that most lawyers will say that, you know, laws, they lead to a lot of gray area, and that's by design. Interpretation is very important. What state governments can do, though, is if you're an organization that works within, you know, Texas as an example, for Texas House Bill 300, it has requirements that are more definitive and that are specific to those organizations that work within healthcare in the state of Texas. So depending on your state, there can be state laws related to HIPAA, but HIPAA itself is not the state law. It would be like a House bill or something like that. So let's take a look at what our third keyword is. Is HIPAA international? HIPAA itself is not international. It's a US-based law, but there are other laws out there that are like HIPAA in other countries. And there's a good example is one in the UK. Now, I don't remember the name of the law off the top of my head. I'm sure that the editor will put this information in probably below or over here. I can go into some examples of it, right? So Ed Sheeran is a celebrity. Everyone knows him. He's a pop star. He is from the UK, and he actually experienced a car accident a few years back. And during that instance, there was a leak of his medical information as to what happened to try to figure it out. And that actually happens quite a bit. Even on the HIPAA side of the United States, there's been a lot of celebrity HIPAA violations related to, you know, because they get in some sort of a car accident or they're injured, or even, you know, even like NFL players or sports players will have that happen to them every once in a while because, you know, the tabloids want to know that stuff, right? They're trying to figure out that information. If you get to the news first and you break the news first, you get the most ad revenue, you get the most clicks on your articles. So it is illegal to do that, but it does happen from time to time, right? And there are laws in other countries that are related, that are similar to HIPAA, because a lot of countries will follow suit based on, you know, what other countries are doing and what's been working for them. So HIPAA itself is not international, but there are other laws out there on an international level for different countries that are similar to it. And then the last keyword we got is HIPAA only medical? So HIPAA itself stands for the Health Information Portability and Accountability Act, and that by itself means it is medical. However, you know, in the context of this question, which is pretty general, there are organizations that don't work 100% in the medical field or in the healthcare field that do have to comply to HIPAA. If you're an organization that works with doctors' offices, maybe helping them get paid, like what Etactics does, or like a medical clearinghouse, or you have some sort of access to anything related to what a doctor's office uses to put patient information in, or, you know, maintain that protected health information, you fall under HIPAA as well. So it's not only doctors or dentists or any practitioner. It is also organizations that work with them as well. So in the sense of, is it only medical? I mean, I would say that it is, but some organizations that you wouldn't necessarily think of as having to be compliant with HIPAA actually do have to be compliant with HIPAA. That's it. Those are the main questions that people search for related to is HIPAA. Stay tuned for some more videos.